Most pivot tables out there kind of suck. Today, I want to show you 5 simple ways to make your pivot tables tell the clearest story using the C.L.E.A.R framework. Let's dive right in. So the first step is clarify the question. This is where we really need to understand what is the business question that we're trying to answer. In this case, let's say we're trying to assess how did our revenue change from year to year from 2025 to 2026. With that in mind, I know that we're only really going to be interested in the year, the month, and the revenue columns. Now for L, we have lay out the table. This is where we actually are going to create our pivot table, and we're going to lay it out in a way that's going to help us best answer the question. So like I was saying before, we just needed the year, month, and revenue columns. And again, since we're doing a year-over-year comparison, this is not the best way to lay it out. Usually when you do a before-after comparison, it's good to have the before on the left and the after on the right. Right now we have the before on top and the after on the bottom, which is not really the logical way of setting it up. So an easy way to do that here is let's just put the year in the column. Okay, now you can clearly see the comparison between the last year and the current year amount. Another thing, since we're literally comparing the months, let's bring in another column that is going to show us the percentage difference from one month from last year to the current year month. So the way you can do that is you can bring in revenue again. Okay. And instead of just having the revenue show up twice, let's right click here, field settings, and go show data as the percent difference from the 2025 year. So when I press OK, and let's just reorder these. When I press OK, this number is basically the percentage difference between the 2026 and 2025. So you can see it's 176% increase. In this L step, this is still also where we want to label things properly. Here, instead of sum of revenue, I'd rather write it as total revenue. And over here, this is the year-over-year revenue change. Now for E, we have enhance readability. Right now, it's not the prettiest thing to look at. There's a very clear way to make this a lot easier on the eye right now, and it's by adding in the right units and choosing the proper decimal points. Quick break. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to post 1 video a week and would love your support. Okay. Since we're looking at revenue here, first of all, we have pretty big numbers. I don't think we need decimals. And since this is revenue, we should put a $sign. So you're going to come over here, more number formats, go currency and decimal places. We want none and press OK. Now already a lot clearer to look at. And same thing here. What else could help readability here? Well, I don't really care about the totals over here. We're doing a year-over-year comparison. We don't need the totals. So let's remove that. You can go into design, grand totals, and let's keep the column totals only. Now, the last thing to make readability a bit better is let's format these and center things properly. In a pivot table, I can't merge and center. It won't let me. But a way to do this is you can highlight this section and then format cells. Alignment, horizontal alignment, we want to center across the selection. And we can do the same thing over here. And then for the rest over here, we can center it. And then for A, we want to apply highlighting. Even just myself, it's kind of difficult to understand what is the story going on here. And this is where conditional formatting can really help. There are 2 that I'll show here. First is let's see how big these revenue amounts are compared to each other. And one way to do that is to go conditional formatting and let's use data bars. So looking here, there's nothing super clear. Maybe we have a bit lower revenue in these months, a bit higher here. Let's see how we can apply that on the year-over-year change. So we'll do a different one. So you can go conditional formatting, icon sets, more rules. And I want to see the ones that have increased over 20%, as well as the ones that have decreased less than 20%. So to do that, we can go number for both. And we want to see when the value is bigger than 0.2, so bigger than 20%, make it green. And then this is basically means anything less than 20% is going to be red. And the last step is R, which is revealing insights. And this is where, as an analyst, you want to look at the table and try to understand what is the story here. What's being told? And this one's pretty simple. It's very clear that in the summer months, so from April to August, we did not do well. And this might be something because of a new pricing strategy or change in demand. And this is really the biggest finding from this analysis, is that something happened during the summer that did not do well. But your goal as the data analyst is really to make sure to convey this message to the audience. And so that is how you go from this pretty disgusting pivot table to one that tells a story in and of itself. If you want another tip on how to make your pivot tables a lot more useful, make sure you watch this video on calculated fields. Thanks for watching.